Hi folks, as I'm recording this, it is mid-April 2017 and my next race is the Great Western Half Marathon, which is in the beginning of May. And in this video, I am going to make a commitment that I am going to run that race naked. Not what you mean. Naked meaning I'm not going to use GPS. I am going to wear my watch. I think technically naked is you don't even have the watch on. I will wear the watch. I'll get back to that at the end. But I'm going to turn all the GPS stuff off. Off is not exactly right. Well, let me get into it. So, GPS became mainstream like 2010. I got my first watch the very end of 2006, but I'm an early adopter with technology stuff. I think most people weren't really using them much till 2010. So the first thing people hear when they say, oh my gosh, don't use your GPS during a race. Well, what the heck do you think everybody did before 2010? They're a relatively new thing. But of course the question is, so why am I not going to do that? And why might I encourage you to try the same thing? So give you an example. Let's say that in a half marathon, I want to run 1:35. That's a 7:15 pace. So that means I need to be a 7:15 pace. Usually start a little bit slower. You hope to finish a little bit faster. But here's the first problem. GPS is only close. GPS is never going to be exactly accurate. In fact, you've probably heard me say before, in a race, I always turn the auto lap off, and I will manually mark my laps when I get to a mile marker to see exactly what it was, because whatever the GPS is telling me during that is almost never correct. So that 7:15 is really quite a range. It could be as high as 7:25, it could be as low as 7:05, and I think all those are really within the margin of error for what GPS could show you at any given point in time. It's one thing to know that intellectually. Emotionally, it's another thing, because the problem is when I see that 7:25, I freak because I'm going too slow. When I see that 7:05, I freak because I'm not going, or I'm going too fast and I'm going to burn out. And the fact is, I don't really know if I'm too fast or too slow, because both of those I might actually be right at 7:15. So instead I'm burning energy, looking at my watch, getting that little bit of panic, oh, gotta do this, oh, I gotta do that, when it's really just close. Another obstacle. Wind and hills. So when you have hills in a race, or when you have a strong headwind, or for that matter, a strong tailwind, it's going to affect your effort, it's going to affect your pace. So that 7:15, well, that's out the door. That's not what I'm shooting for when I'm going into a strong headwind. It's not probably what I'm shooting for when the wind is at my back, and it's not what I'm shooting for going uphill or downhill. So that course is going to matter a little bit as well. And then there's another reason. The GPS might in fact limit me. It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then you have these races where everything just comes together. So maybe I can run 7:05 that day, or 7:10, or something different than 7:15. But if I'm nailed on that pace, I'm going to limit myself. Now, there's also the risk that it goes the other way. There's the risk that maybe it's a harder day and I go out too hard and I'm going to bonk early. I mean, I know all the risks, but I think in training, we do a lot of training at goal pace. It's actually a lot easier to kind of feel the effort and know what you're doing anyway. So what I'm going to do, when I said I'm going to wear the watch, I am going to wear the watch. I will have the pace fields off. The reason I'm wearing the watch is twofold. Number one, well, I train with the watch. I don't want to all of a sudden not have that weight on there. That would really feel too naked. And number two, I do want to see the GPS data after I'm done to kind of compare and see how things with the race went. But other than that, I'm going to run naked. And you might give it a try too.